Hello everyone, this is CMDR Trium. Another episode from the Elite Universe being logged to YouTube once again. We have some objectives to check on, and depending how that goes, we will decide what we're doing today. This is the FNS Valoria, our freighter. Stand by.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Oh, I finally logged in, and Tingrel is no longer in outbreak, so I had a ship full of basic medicines I had to haul somewhere just to make a little profit off of it.
Oh my god. Well, there's still plenty of profit up where I am if you want to come up here. I'm just going to check some objectives right now and see what we have available today. Still a bit of time on the scan jobs. We are in danger of losing the Blue Mob Faction Pirates mission, however. 1 day, 23 hours, 15 minutes left on that one. We can technically do it tomorrow, but some action will have to be taken on it, I imagine. The total number of pirates to kill in that one is 32 in the Polevnik region. I had an odd encounter yesterday. I was on my electric scooter that I used to get around the city, and some guy comes up to me in the street. He hears the Bluetooth voice. It's a standard greeting that's programmed into the bike, and it goes, the Bluetooth device is ready to pair, but with a very thick Oriental accent because it was manufactured in China, I guess. And I was talking to someone else in the street about it and complaining that, you know, it wouldn't take that much to find an ESL expert or some sort of person who could speak, you know, English without an accent, to even in China, to redo the voice properly and make it comprehensible. And he comes up and he's like, "Oh, really? Do you have insurance on this bike?" And I go, "Yes, I do. It was stolen recently, so it's a new bike." And he's like, "Oh, for this year, eh? Well, why not, if you want, I'll steal it from you now, and that way you can get another new bike and we can split the difference on the insurance settlement that you'll get." Basically, he's asking me to commit insurance fraud. And I just kind of looked at him, and I looked at the other guy, and I went, "No, I don't think so." And the other guy looked at him and somehow managed to diagnose he was suffering from a crystal meth high, and that he was looking for another quick fix to help pay for his drugs. So that was right in front of a major pharmaceuticals company here in the city called Shoppers Drug Mart. I don't know if you have them in the States, probably not, but they sell, you know, over-the-counter meds and whatnot, and that's where I go to get my my GI medication. Anyway, so it's the only prescription that I take right now, and it's almost done. And so I don't know. I thought that was kind of offensive. But it also means that they're moving, that the criminal element in our society, the unpleasant element, has moved very much closer to the downtown core area. And I spoke to someone else about this in a gas station, and they were saying, oh yeah, there's been tons of people with meth addictions lately downtown. And I was like, really? Oh, wonder what brought that on.
Hyperspace.
Anyway, it was kind of unpleasant.
I was screwing around with that voice attack some more.
Yeah, how's that going?
Yeah. Now I can have it give audible voice, basically verbal responses. I can program it in and have it do say stupid shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the name of it again? Talk attack, or what was the name of your
voice attack?
Voice attack. Okay.
So yeah, it's interesting to play with. I can get it to do all kinds of dumb shit.
Yeah, no, there was a couple. There's a guy from Mexico City, an American apparently, but he's from Mexico City. I was talking to him last night, helping him out after I paged you and you were off to bed or something. And he came back and said, "Oh, yeah, that might be an interesting way to control the crap." So I gave him the name of it, but wasn't sure I gave him the right one. I think I did.
Hyperspace.
No. Massacre. Okay, so we can still do, yeah, so we can still do the mission type here for Outbreak, but it's quite a ways from you. It's like 200 light years, the better part of 200 light years away. But it's still showing as being the most lucrative deal in the galaxy right now for making commodities profit. 4723 credits. According to the multi-hop rating system used on the Elite Dangerous database site.
Well, I am just heading back into Asylum right now, so I gotta do some tweaking on the ships. What ship do you want me to bring?
I don't know. Probably the freighter, I guess, if you want to make commodities profit here.
Well, I can either jump into the Python, I could jump into my Asp Explorer, my Imperial Eagle, or then stay in the Type 10, so...
Yeah, well, there's no real attacking going on here. It's just, you know, nice, quiet, moving. Hang on. It's moving cargo from one place to another. I'm currently at Crowley Hub, so I guess I have to get the.
I'll just jump over to 109 Piscium and give me a smaller shield, so at least I have a shield, but it won't take up a lot of cargo.
Yeah. Well, the profit margin is pretty good here, so I don't think you'll have any advanced medicines, basic medicines. Cargo full.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity. Launching from Crowley Hub. And departing station. God, is this thing ever a pig, though? So I still need about 30 million more credits, and then I can afford to do the upgrade that I want.
I think right now I'm sitting at like 52 or 53 million credits.
I think you need 60 to really make it worth your time.
What? I guess I got just shot. I'm at 57.8 million credits now.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Almost at 60.
What do I need 60 for?
Then you can upgrade thrusters, you can upgrade hull armor, you can do a couple different things, but it seems like the magic number is 60 million.
Yeah, that's the expected of this ship.
It's all about the...
Damn far away from the drop-in point.
Yeah, the other thing is we're really close to the Alliance capital on Alios here. And you need a permit to access Alios itself, but there's nothing in there. I had a spy go by. Oh, there's the guy from Mexico City. STF 1774. Course laid in through Mizar. Hey! It's the first time it's using Mizar. Hey, Bo. Okay, there we go. Here, I'm just gonna wing up with you, and then we're gonna bring in the guy from Mexico City so I can help him out again.
Okay.
1 second. Back, go to invite to wing, and we'll invite him to wing. Okay.
Frameshift drive charging.
Wing beacon is on.
Okay. He hasn't responded yet, but I imagine he will once he gets his mic all straightened out. His network link in Mexico City is kind of flaky. I'm not sure what bandwidth is like between the United States and Mexico. But he's in Mexico City, which is North America's largest city, obviously, so he should have a stable internet link. Can't believe there's 20 million people in Mexico City. Can you imagine? Like...
No, I can't, because I barely tolerate being in a city with 100,000 people in it.
I mean, I've been in cities with, 4 or 5 million people, and it's pretty crowded, like, like I said, I live in a part of Canada where, like, 60% of the population base of the country is all, like, within 4 hours drive of one another. But Winnipeg's almost at 1 million now, so it's getting pretty large.
What's to dock?
Frameshift drive charging.
It's kind of nice to be able to say key phrase engage with auto dock for you. Still there?
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay.
I'm trying to fight the gravity well of an F-class star here. And I don't want to get sucked into it. Yeah, so you've engaged. Here, I'll turn on the beacon. Hello, Vlas Harden.
What's up?
So this is my esquadron is from South Dakota in the United States. And Vlas Harden is in Mexico City. Basically, I think we're sticking in this area. The Tangaroa outbreak has dried up. So glad to see that you got some of what you were looking for yesterday.
Yeah, I upgraded. I spent all my money on a power plant.
Oh, did you? Good.
Yeah, it's unbelievable too. It's a class 4, but like 6 more megawatts.
Okay. Holy crap. Okay, we gotta... hang on. I'm trying to get my freighter turned around here so I can actually go to the system I want to go to, which is the one that Rovlas you are in.
Well, I'm about to leave the system because I'm doing a bunch of micro missions to increase rep. Because
Okay.
because I'm basing myself out of Alliance Alliance-based system.
Yeah.
And I want to get like pretty good rep across the board on all of those guys.
I have a question for you about that system. The Alliance system, how do you get the permit for it?
You have to go to the Alcos. If you go to Alcos system, it's like 15 light years away from it.
Okay.
It's the Alliance Independence. That faction gives missions that give you access to the core system.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, and I'm not going outside to shovel.
Alright then. Oh god, now there's a debris field in front of me. Hang on.
Well, if you guys want, like, we could do that. I mean, it's not hard to grind that rep. Especially with a wing. Just grind it real fast.
Well, except my ship for that kind of a mission is about 200 light years away. I'd have to have it shipped up here first. I could do that, depending on how things go, but it would take like about 15 minutes to get it up here.
Well, in the meantime, you can do other things. You can do a few cargo runs.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 1 second.
Like I've found, for example, the other day, instead of going all the way to that zone, that system, I found another run with polymers and that same stuff.
Yeah.
That I could go back and forth, and because of my limited cargo space, I was making more credits per hour, obviously, because for me it's about the speed of the turnaround, and for you it's about the efficiency of the volume.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have a freighter, it's like that. But can you afford the Type 7 cargo freighter yet?
Not even close. I just blew like 4 million credits on a new power plant.
Oh, that's right, okay.
Totally worth it, though. Totally worth it. Here, 1 second. Let me go through. I'm trying to deliver some units, and then I'm going to make a run to that system first.
Okay.
Because I have a bunch of things I try to line up missions to coincide with the same zones.
Okay. 1 second. I just kind of want the Alliance permit. I don't really need it for any reason. I just want to be able to go in. I just want to go into that system if I'm able to, because I already have 50% approval rating with the Alliance. I'm higher with both the Empire and the Federation at the moment, but I'm a lot like in tight alliance with the Federation at 100%, and my Imperial rating is 74%. But it keeps fluctuating because I have to get rank inside the Imperial Navy. And I want to be an admiral both in the Federation fleet and in the Imperial fleet. And then, hopefully, with this permit, whenever the Alliance puts its fleet together, as I'm expecting it to any month now, when it puts its fleet together, it will mean I can send the ranks through the Alliance fleet fairly quickly. I'm pretty sure the Alliance is going to get a fleet soon.
Yeah, there's a bunch of you already making like massive ships, no?
Yeah. Well, and
you shut down the 2 super capital ships that are floating around.
These,
like they go to various hot units, hot zones, but
against the Thargoids. But the Alliance and the Thargoids, like the Alliance might be the only party that can go talk to the Thargoids, because the Federation and the Federation and the Empire have both started the war with the Thargoids, in my opinion. So the Alliance actually had a non-aggression pact 100 years ago, or what became the Alliance had a non-aggression pact 100 years ago. with the Thargoids. It was rumored. Nothing's confirmed, of course, but I see there as being potential for the Alliance and the Thargoids to end the war with humanity.
Well, I don't know. They sent that virus or something against them. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, I know. It was the virus. It was a genocidal virus because that log of Commander Jameson's where he finds out at the very end of his mission, where he's stranded on a dead planet somewhere, that, it turns out that the Empire and the Federation both were behind this duping of Commander Jameson to start the war with the Thargoids and drive them.
The Alliance seems like the best faction in terms of morality.
Well, of course, being Canadian myself, I like the parliamentary system that they have in their government as well. They have a prime minister like we do, so it's a little bit more familiar. Hang on a second. Okay, we're docking now with Vizcano City. Requesting dock.
Landing committed. Preparing for arrival on landing pad 10.
So what was your plan, both of you? Sorry.
Approach authorized.
Go ahead, Squaddle.
So I just bought a shield and burnt up 13 million.
Oh, that's okay. You have 60.
I'm down to 44.3 million now, but I could sell shit. I've got a Class 7 shield all set up for my Type 10 for when I go to battle and shit.
Yeah.
That's so much of my cargo. The minimum I can put in here is a Class 6.
Okay.
Generator.
Well, this sounds like it might also be your big chance to get some rep within the Alliance. If you want to come and trade here.
I'm kind of redoing things out here so that I can actually go do something.
You've never been to the Alliance before, have you?
Don't think so.
No.
Looking at my thrusters, let's see here.
There was Commander Soapy Knight, who I was playing with weekend to weekend for quite a while. And I don't know what the hell happened to him. He disappeared offline. But he was hugely into the Alliance and is part of the Edmund Mahan faction.
Avoid quarantine zones at all costs.
He's the one who got me into the power play side of the game, which I hadn't really explored before. Okay, outbreak. We're still in outbreak mode here, so we're still good. Okay, so it looks like this system is about to switch back to economic boom. For preparations for an election against STF 1774 Central Limited and STF 1774 are in progress. An outbreak has occurred. Looking forward to an economic boom. Current influence 34.4%. They are currently the governing party in this system.
Yeah, but an economic boom is provoked by overall trade, no?
Yeah, but I am trading like large numbers of medicines to treat the plague. So the plague is probably going to end up being cured at some point. And then that will end the boom. Well, that'll end the 2 million credit turnaround on this loop that I'm running.
There's quite a bit of outbreaks.
I'm sure there are. Just whether or not that they're.
You happen to find a 12,000 credit a run like profit margin.
Well, 1,200%, yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Because I was doing like alternate trade routes yesterday, looking around, and that's by far the. And actually didn't even come up. I tried to create the search algorithm for the parameters for it, and I couldn't recreate it. I don't know why.
The ones that I'm using, I just checked like moments ago. Hang on. The following parameters were used to arrive at this search conclusion. Implicit commodities, none. Ignored commodities, none. Maximum hop distance, 24 light years. Minimum supply, 10,000. Minimum demand, 10,000. Maximum price age, 2 days. It's a change. Minimum profits.
Any reason I might need my fighter base?
Yeah, for defense, but I mean it's up to you.
I'm flying a gunship here, so.
Yeah, in your case it might be optional in your case, and I've got a fighter anyway, and so does if he gets if Hardin gets a keelback or a Type 7, he'll have a fighter bay as well. So, but I only use the fighters basically to like throw people off while I run away in my freighter, and that usually works.
Yeah, that's more or less what they're used for. If you have a freighter, anyway.
And then you make your escape while they deal with your fighter. And usually it's pretty fast, so it's tough to deal with.
Yeah, it's extremely fast. It's a nice ship.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Gotta...
My wing beacon is now enabled, for those of you who care. Okay, so Starport Services switching to commodities market and selling medicines. Basic, 500. Selling. $22.63, 500. So 2.2 million. Demand has increased though on these basic medicines. Now it's 3.9 million. Advanced medicines is 14.7 million. The profit margin is narrower on advanced medicines. I'm not going to deal with those. Materials, aluminum.
Galaxy map.
123,000 credits worth of aluminum.
At maximum capacity.
Switching out.
Okay, what system are you in again, Trium?
I'm in STF, Sierra Tango Foxtrot 1774. You should see the friend icon as well as the wing icon on my system in the galaxy map. I'm in
154.74 light years.
Yeah, so depending on what your jump distance is on your Type 10. I can't remember if it's bigger than mine.
I can make all but the last jump just off the fuel, what I have in the fuel tank.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, there you are.
Well,
yeah.
Apparently I need to put a spare fuel tank in just so I can make that trip whole.
That's an interesting idea. You can put a tank in there.
Or stop somewhere and pick up fuel, I guess, either way.
Yeah, but putting a tank in... Putting a tank in is always faster than stopping at a base. So, I don't know if it's worth it. Good God, man, look at what's going on in the Pleiades. And the Thargoids didn't attack a base this past turn, I noticed.
Well, I think most of the bases they were attacking had a GS research center on them.
They did, but they also were attacking Eagle Eye and the Eagle Eye system, surveillance system in the Pleiades. I don't know how you use it exactly, but somehow there's a surveillance tool that you can use in the Pleiades to get data on whether or not the Thargoids are going to attack a specific system. And the Thargoids must have suspected that the humans had adapted and were able to anticipate their attacks, so they may have held off this past turn. Let's see if there's anything.
All the new defensive systems are probably going to change the pattern of Thargoid attacks, because before they were going after bases.
Yeah, and it's which species is going to be able to... Oh. Genesis of the Thargoids. Professor Cora Shaw, director of the Palin Institute, published a paper speculating on the origin of the Thargoids. Information, Guardian shed some light on Thargoids' ancient history. So where did the Thargoids come from? We know Thargoids insectoid in nature, ammonia-based worlds affinity. This suggests they may have evolved in a harsh, low-temperature environment. The Thargoids are experts in bioengineering. They've augmented their own biology to a point. Well, you know what else that might be? Those Thargoid bases could be base ships that are now assembling. And they could lift off from the planet's surfaces that they have been embedded in. And if that happens, we're all in deep shit, because those base ships are huge.
But you can enter them, no?
Yeah, you can in an SRV, but if they leave the ground, I wouldn't count on that working again. They are comfortable in which space?
Ammonium.
Yeah.
Which space? Yeah, WIT, interstellar. Yeah. That's all speculation anyway. There's like 4 different theories in that one letter.
Yeah, I know, and I don't know. I still think they're coming from the LMC, but that's just my guess. They're the only other galaxy you can see on the big map. Well, the only other galaxy that moves on the big map. And it implies that that Frontier is planning on having us able to move into the LMC at some point in the future. Power play updates. It looks like, let's see here. Liang Rui's reserves are calculated to be 426 without further fortification. He could be as low as minus 250 on command credits. Panavantal as low as negative 118, but that has never happened. Examining all possibilities, experts concluded deficit is avoided with current fortification efforts. Panavantal could amass a command credit reserve of 121 next cycle. That's my faction, so we'll be to the positive again. And I don't think I cast my vote in favor of expansion, which I think is necessary given imminent Thargoid threat. So... yeah, exit. Okay, so, hang on. Aluminum. No. Back. Okay. rating. Vote. Voting for preparation. Vote cast. Okay, I cast my vote. Next, we have got to, where are we? Volcano City. This is the outbreak system. Stand by to exit. Now entering launch cycle. Launching. Landing gear retracted.
Restrictions when passing through the airlock.
Orienting to space
I
door
love how this
apertures.
game, in some stations, they don't have limpets. Like, really? How do you not have limpets?
We need limpets for everything.
Yeah, some stations don't have them. It's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Like, if they don't have fuel or anything, like, I wonder what they do. Like, how does that station survive?
You got to be careful though. Like, if you fill your cargo holds up and try to buy limpets, you won't be able to because limpets take cargo slots. And so it might just mean you filled up your cargo hold.
Oh, no.
I did that yesterday.
It's definitely a sail issue. Damn, nobody has water. I'm trying to source some water on all the stops I've been to. Nobody has it.
The galaxy is awash in water. There's water everywhere. You know where you go?
Yeah, not in the stations I go to.
You don't go to stations. You go to the ring systems of a gas giant, and you pull the water from the rings.
What, is mining the only way to buy water?
No, but it's a cheap way of doing it, and you can get lots of it from ice crystals that are in the ring systems.
Because most of it I see from water is from ships that have been destroyed. Like, they usually have something like water resources on them.
That's true.
If you want water, you go into ice ring, and you can mine it.
Yeah,
I've
be
mined
doing
quite
that.
a bit of it before.
Oh, crap. I just launched a heat...
Either.
Oh, no. I just launched a heat sink. For no reason.
Well, it's good for getting missiles off your tail.
Yeah, I have an anti-threat, inbound threat cannon on my point defense cannon. Takes care of missiles, unless it's those stupid drunk missiles from the Hound missiles from Leon Louis.
Interesting. All these stupid jumps I made, none of them have a station I can refuel at.
Oh, they must. Well, just, I don't know. Break out of your jump.
They didn't. I need the big ones. I need a large landing dock, and none of them have anything with a large landing dock.
Or you could use a planet surface. The surface.
Most of them didn't even have that.
Well, I thought all the planets had large landing pads. That was one of the advantages of being on a planet. Was that you had.
They have a base on the planet. There's no planetary bases in any systems that just jump through.
Oh, okay. Well, I gotta be right there somewhere. Break out of your jump pattern and find one. Otherwise, I'll have to come and load up a fuel limpet and rescue you.
That's what I'm trying to look at the map, see if I can find something.
You don't have a scoop?
Normally he does.
Well, that's not good.
Well, you can't be stranded inside the bubble, really. It's very difficult. Even if you're in a large ship, it's extremely difficult to actually be stuck. In this case, I would just simply go and stop doing what I'm doing, and I would just go and deliver a fuel limpet to him.
Tell them to message the fuel rats.
It'll be faster for me to do it. Otherwise, you got to make an appointment.
Probably. So I don't have to wait like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, weird system.
Yeah, well, I don't...
It's useful if you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. LHS 331 Alpha 7. Switch, go to... Verrazzano Keep, Gold Station, Crowley. Crowley's now locked into nav computer. Crowley. There we go. Okay.
Does anybody feel like doing an assassination mission? I always have this follow-up links mission for Ingo Marks. 1 million credits, and I mean, I think with 3 people, let's see the ranking. It's a master ranked combat.
Yeah, I am master rank, but hang on a second. I just overshot the base. Hang on. This is a problem. Come on, you pig of a freighter. Holy crap, this is slow. Oh my god. 12. 11. Stand by. Have you shared the mission out yet? Well, that would actually hang on, that would imply acceptance. Don't do that necessarily. What's the profit on it?
What the mission? It's $1,100,000.
Okay.
It's not bad.
How many? And it's just one target, or are there many targets?
It's one target. It's a pirate lord or something.
Yeah, but then you gotta wait to the requisite time on the pirate lord to show up.
Yeah, it's actually...
And that's hard to do.
Let me see.
It'll say you have to go by GMT, which is another sort of frustrating... You don't know exactly what time to show up at, unless you can work out what time it is GMT in your time zone.
Yeah, and all those are good points. Let me see what it's got. Transactions.
Paycom Tango Romeo. This is Starcom. You require authorization for access to the docking bay.
Here we go. Okay. Between 1955 and 2125 in the Olgea system.
$19.25? It's currently 1928 right now.
8 p.m.
1920.
1955. So that's in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's undoable.
No, probably not. But I mean, who's it for?
It's for Alias Independence.
Hang on.
The Alliance faction rep for getting into the home system.
Gotcha. 1 second. Crowley Harbor, press docking, go.
Request approved.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the next one.
5. Initiating auto docking sequence.
I'm almost at the target that I need for money. And I want to get this, this freighter is overheating. I need to get it upgraded.
Scan detected.
Scan detected.
What is your heat temp percentage usually run at again?
80. If it's
How or why so high on that ship?
well, as soon as you engage the FSD, it goes straight to 80. But if I just sit there in the in system, it will be at around 40. But it just
I'm at Super Cruise right now, and mine's at 28%.
yeah. See, I'm at 20 points higher than that. And it has to do with my thruster assembly. It's 7D. It just is. It's too underpowered for this ship. I need 7A. Actually, I should even.
Jump to 7A, jump to 7D.
Contact confirmation.
Oh, I've got 7D right now.
I know, but I'm heavier than you. I got more mass, more cargo.
You might have more mass of cargo, but this ship is heavier because it's got more armor on it and more guns.
What's your ship mass at? Industrial materials, machinery, medicine. This is basic. Crowley. Yes. Cancel. We have to sell the aluminum first. Sell.
Not even sure. Well, request to dock. Request to dock.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Current balance now approaching 40 million credits.
Wow, I'm approaching 1 million right now.
What? You're approaching
Credits.
1 million credits?
Yeah, I'm still in the process of upgrading all my stuff. So it costs a lot of credits.
I just spent
Like
30
I'm-
million credits here about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't have
I'm still in an asp.
he doesn't have a freighter, which is why I was urging him to get the Type 7. But he doesn't have.
Too expensive.
It's too expensive. There's also a Type 6. You could look at that one. That one's probably about 7 million.
Well, if you're
Yeah,
in
but right
Aspen,
now my asp has 130 cargo. So, I mean,
Yeah, a Type
doesn't
6.
seem like-
A Type 6 will have twice that. Easy.
yeah.
if you
Now, you get the
yourself into a
Beluga.
keelback, they're not too bad. They got a little bit of armor and weaponry on them, as well as being able to haul cargo. I had one of them a long time ago.
I don't think the keelback has a, like, 40 more cargo expansion than I have on this asp.
Yeah, I mean, to see any real benefit, you probably have to go up to the Type 6. That's what I found with the keelback.
Exactly. I'd have to invest in a dedicated freighter. Because I had a keelback for a long time. It's nice. It's a good ship for, like, running missions, but... And with that fighter, it makes it really nice. I mean, that fighter's incredibly useful.
Yeah, it's the first ship type that gives you access to the fighter, so it's a good starter ship for fighter play. But I don't know.
Unfortunately, everything else is suboptimal.
It doesn't.
It's not well-rounded at all.
No, I think it's mostly supposed to be just a split between combat and heavy trade, but I don't know if it does it either extremely well. Probably not. The ASP, at least you get exploration credits.
All of them not good enough.
But then again, I didn't feel comfortable until I got the Python. And the Python only jumps 20 light years, but it is going to be able to sustain a battle. Like, it will hang in battle for a while. You won't be like, oh my god, I got hit and run away. At least you can get 700 shields in a Python.
mass of my ship right now is 1,942 tons.
1,942.
And I'm empty.
Okay, so you're on empty. Okay, 1,492.
If I'm fully loaded, if I were to completely fill my cargo hold right now, I'd be at 2,970 tons total mass.
Where the heck? How come it doesn't give you a nice, quick access? I've only had 7 Thargoid encounters. The last ship was with Python. Seen last on 3304, January 23rd at 5:26 GMT. Credits earned. Had 5 crew hired, 27 million credits split between them. Multi-crew, 18 hours, 58 minutes.
I'm at a base look in the outfitting menu right now. Down at the bottom, it gives you ship specs.
Yeah, I know. I was looking elsewhere inside the ship's functions itself, but it looks like you have to go to...
I looked in there, I couldn't find it.
You have to go to outfitting, I think, inside the starport. So, what was the count again? 1,000...
When I'm empty, I'm at 1,942 tons.
1942 mass, okay. And in my case, at empty I'm 1713.6, currently at 2472.5.
Currently I'm at 2405.
So not that far off in total mass.
No. What's your max at if you're fully loaded?
2472.50.
That's completely full with all your cargo.
Yeah.
Completely loaded down with cargo, I'm at 2970.
Okay.
So these extra guns I got on here and the extra military compartments,
I weigh it down.
make up a big difference.
Well, all I know is that right now my thrusters are being overtaxed, and as for the FSD, hang on, core internals, FSD is currently a 6... I'm running a 6D power plant. That's another problem. I could go to a 6A. Hang on. Well, the 6B power plant, the 6A isn't available here. The 5A is, though. But it will underpower the craft. I'll produce with the 6B 23.10 megawatts, so it might help a little bit, but I need really to go to a port with 6A. And let's see, 7D thrusters, the 6B frameshift drive is another one. Yeah, I need a 6A frame FSD.
I just encountered another freighter. Like, this guy was flying a Type 7 PC.
Yeah.
And absolutely no response at all from him.
That happens. Usually if they don't...
I think some of them, I think they might be bots.
Well, no, there could be... There's also... Don't forget, this is like... There's a Cyrillic version of the game where if you try to engage English text against Russian, I don't think it comes through properly, and so they would just get a bunch of garbled text. And this is based on what I've seen on YouTube. But, like, you get the Russian Cyrillic text, the Cyrillic alphabet is what they see in their interface. So if you say something to them in English, it's just going to come through as garbled Russian. Another possibility is the person doesn't speak English. If they speak Portuguese or Spanish only, then there's nothing you can do.
Or it could just be that they don't notice people when they talk.
Well, I personally speak French, so I've been able to engage other commanders who speak French, but that's like, I don't know what would happen if I hadn't been able to identify myself as a French speaker. They would have probably not been able to say anything to me. Although there's a lot of people in France who do speak English, but not necessarily extremely well.
Well enough.
Well enough. Probably better than I speak French. I don't know. But I can speak French.
Yeah, I barely speak English.
You know what's really frustrating when you know more than one language is having a command in your mother tongue, like the tongue you were born with. In my case, it's English, but I would much rather have been born into a French-speaking environment and then gone back to learn English, because English is everywhere, and it would make for a better bilingual mix. And I'd still have a command of English as well as French then, but it's not how things turned out.
Well, if you were around speaking French regularly.
Well, it just takes longer. Like, there is lots of French spoken where I'm at in Ottawa, but it's usually like a workplace. The Government of Canada is sort of the de facto language of work is French for many departments, but when I did a project with Justice Canada, and they basically had a French-speaking work environment. So I did pick up French there, but then if you don't use it again afterwards, you lose it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you spoke it often enough, it wouldn't be such a noticeable deal.
Yeah, probably.
I know a guy I used to work with, he's bilingual. He could speak Spanish. He's from Puerto Rico, but
well, he probably...
Spanish very often.
Another question is, like, what languages do you dream in? Like, if you're asleep at night and you're dreaming, I've had dreams in French, which means that my French is solid enough that I can actually, at least I think, I'm speaking correct French while I'm in dream state. But
well,
someone from Puerto Rico wouldn't surprise me if he dreamt in Spanish most of the time, and then, you know, had the occasional dream in English. With me, it's the other way around.
He was Puerto Rican, but he was born and raised in New York City.
Oh, okay.
Puerto Rico, because he had family down there.
Yeah.
Eventually, once he was 20-some years old, he moved to South Dakota, and he didn't speak much Spanish anymore.
No.
Unless there were some of the Latinos or Mexicans that moved up here to work or something. You'd be able to talk to them now and then. So even then, and I know he was saying that he doesn't speak Spanish often enough, so he's got to kind of stop and think every now and then of what he's trying to.
No, well, I also was in high school studying German at the same time I was trying to learn third-year French, and I took first-year German, and then at university I went and took Latin. And French didn't, you know what's really weird? French and Spanish didn't make any sense to me at all until I studied Latin. And then suddenly, studying Latin helped me understand French and a bit of Spanish better.
Yeah, they're kind of along the same group.
Yeah, they're in the same English. It's the same group as English.
German, I would have better luck learning German than I would French or Spanish or Italian or anything like that.
You'd think so. There's still some conceptual leaps you have to make, though. Like, what is it? Like, in French you have masculine, feminine. In German you have masculine, feminine, neuter. Like, there's a middle, a non-gendered noun, ungendered noun.
I know how to say certain words in German, but that's about as far as I ever went.
Yeah.
I've got family that is German or can speak it, but I don't. They're usually the older generation.
Probably had relatives from the old country or something.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
Yeah.
They were first generation to be born here, so they learned German.
Yeah, much the same experience. The Mennonites love to hang on to their German. Where I'm from,
We've got
anyway.
a lot of Hutterites around here, so
They'll probably speak German as well.
you tend to hear it quite often.
Yeah. Wasn't Martin Luther German as well? I believe he was.
Martin Luther, yeah.
Yeah.
Lutheran came from Germany.
From Germany, yeah. How about you, Hardin? How's your Spanish doing?
Me?
Yeah.
My Spanish is great. I can speak to you in Spanish right now if you wanted.
Well, I'm not very good with Spanish, but I can understand some of it because of my studying in French. French and Spanish are closely related, but
Kinda. It's the pronunciations that are completely different.
they're completely different, yeah. And it actually
But
gets...
if you read them, you could probably read one and the other if you know them well.
Yeah, I do know...
How do you get script enabled? How do you like enter in a script command in this?
In which? The voice attack or the...
Well, I don't want to use voice. I just want to use like a simple script, like in lieu of a hotkey. Is there a script panel, like a console command in this?
There was once upon a time.
Basically, you want to be able to issue commands with your voice?
No, I don't want to use voice.
He wants to just use hotkeys, yeah. But the same idea, like you're using voice command to do a request to space dock, right? So there should be a hotkey mapping, one would think, that would go with that.
I would have to use no, I just saw it. It's scripts for external programs. Damn.
Oh, you have to write it in .NET then, probably.
Yeah.
Or use an external API. Well, an API, I could tell you a little bit about coding. I don't know. Do you want to learn anything about software development?
What exactly are you trying to do now?
Okay, you know how...
I want to be able, without using voice, just to use, like...
a button.
Like script commands for key presses.
Yeah.
That way you could set up, like, different mouse button combinations to do certain automated repetitive functions. Do you use a native function to have voice access, or are you using an external program?
He's using
an external program, but the program I'm using, I think, could probably also do what you want. If I would hit a button, it'd probably run through a sequence of buttons, or be able to run through a sequence.
That was my conclusion as well.
Go through and you got to set up a lot of hotkeys in game, or you got to bind all the functions to keyboard.
That's where it is. Options, controls. Hang on. Alternate flight controls.
Yeah, I'll just use this. I'm going to use auto hotkey, which is
okay. There's an alternate
pretty robust.
There's an alternate controls toggle key sequencer inside the controls options submenu, and I think it's in there somewhere. Oh, I don't want that. Hang on. Escape. Miscellaneous. No, that's predefined. But there's a lot of functions in here. Like, holy crap. Driving mode switches, driving miscellaneous, divert to different... Oh my god. Like, it's gotta be in...
Do I still want to go to STF 1774?
Do you want to still profit from Outbreak?
Well, that's just it. I'm trying to figure out which two places I'm supposed to go to, because I am sitting at...
There's LHS...
14019 at the moment.
There's LHS 331 and STF 1774. Those are the two systems that you go back and forth between the two of them, and you trade aluminum for basic medicines, and you get the same money that you were making at Tangaroa.
STF.
Hang on a second, I got to use the bathroom. One moment. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow.
Wants to dock.
I'm here again. Oh my god. Yeah, it was medication times as well, so I had to stop and do that. Oh, my thumb hurts so much. Oh, I'm playing too many video games. Oh. Or, what's that?
Or you're not playing enough.
That's right. I have to work out more. Oh, I have to go for my daily run today at some point. Hopefully when it's still warm outside, because it's like snowing yesterday.
It's still snowing here. My wife said we've got like close to 6 inches of snow sitting on the ground.
Well, it doesn't really snow here, like at this time of year. It's more like this kind of, I don't know, like a slush falls out of the sky. It's kind of like rain.
Rain, but right now we're getting snow, which is not normal for April.
No, I can understand that.
Okay, I'll be back. I'm going to go for a couple minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Mexico City sounds pretty good about now. More amenable for training outdoors.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, actually, the temperature.
But, I mean, in the summer, like, when I was there last time, it was Puerto Vallarta around 2002. And it was so blisteringly hot. We went in, what was it? I think we went in May. and it was already hitting 32 degrees, like on the beach, and it was just stupidly hot. I don't know how else to put it. Like I got me.
That's the beach.
Yeah.
The city is maximum like 25.
Is it? Okay, it's a bit more pleasant inland then.
It's like colder than Hawaii and never gets hotter.
Okay. I always thought that Mexico City was built into like a big like basin, like all the maps I've ever seen.
It's a giant mountainous basin.
So
it's a mountain lake.
Yeah, exactly. It's the ancient site of Tenochtitlan, but there's a big like it's been populated for thousands of years because it's had like this really nice climate that everyone loved, so people kept coming, I guess, and didn't leave. It kind of explains why there's 20 million people there now. But that aside, it also means that with pollution and with, modern levels of pollution, that you could have really hot days in Mexico City. I kept imagining myself like just falling over from like running too hard. My Irish genes are not acclimatized to places where it doesn't rain and it's sunny all the time and hot. In fact, I got a major sunburn in Puerto Vallarta, like the biggest one of my life. What's that? Puerto Vallarta, yes. But it's still a beach. And then there's Buceria. We walked up from Puerto Vallarta to Buceria, north of the city, and it was one of the dumbest things I've ever done because got such a sunburn. Anyway, you imagine like blonde hair, blue eyes, and sunburn. That's sort of me.
Yeah, that'll do it if you're not accustomed to sun.
No.
Let's see, hotkeys. Did I find something else to my... Let's see. Throttle controls. Flight throttle. Okay, good. Here we go. 67%, 0%, reverse, S. Huh.
Exit. Boom cordial. This is Crowley Hub. We need aluminum. Basic medicines loaded. Okay. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, good. Exit. Launch. Okay. So now we'll cross the 40 million mark and then on our way to 50 million. The big money. But the magic number is 60 million. It won't take that long.
Ship is released. Your way is clear to depart.
Yes, I'm quite sure my Spanish pronunciation does need work.
Yeah, most people said. Shit, I'm trying to get the script to work. Find no promise found. Okay, because I'm trying to run this script for... Damn, every time I press it, it's linked to control. And what's that key? The tilde key?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Actually, it might not be linked to tilde at all because I'm using a Spanish keyboard. Let me try something else. Let me go to the script. Because every time I hit the tilde key, it puts me in reverse.
Okay. It doesn't bring up a console? It used to bring up a console ages ago.
Nah, but this is the control.
But keep in mind too, I might have different options than you because I've got the headset, the Oculus Rift. So I may not see the same options that you'll see in console because we don't use a keyboard with the VR headset, so unless we absolutely have to, of course. Okay, so this sucks. A ship just up and collided with me. Did no damage, but I got a fine.
Hey, at least you didn't kill it. Some people park sidewinders in the mail slot, and if you hit them, the station attacks you.
Yeah, well, this is just a fine. It's not a bounty, so I'll just have to pay the fine when I come back, I guess. But it's annoying because I was just flying my ship straight, and the rules of space shipping say that the largest ship has the right of way. Well, I'm clearly the larger ship. The ship that hit me was a Dolphin-class passenger liner, and they didn't know what the hell they were doing. Hey, he's in the same system now as you. Everyone's going to be in the same system right away.
I'm in STM 1774 right now.
Yeah, and I'm headed there right now.
And I'm eating cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that.
I'm gonna turn my microphone on. I'm gonna mute it again so you don't have to listen to me chew.
Well, I'm in orbit above a water world. I still don't really know what fishing would be like on a planet where there's no land. Imagine there's some really big fish on such worlds. Like giant sharks the size of like tankers. And jellyfish that span for miles in every direction. And STF 1774 engaging now.
Frame shift drive charging.
Frame FSD charging. Four, three, two, one. Engaging. The ship has been jumped. Leaving a hyperspatial jump.
Temperature critical.
Vizcano City, 400 light seconds and falling. (16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. There we are.
Tango, Romeo, India. You're through to Starcon Flight Operations Department. Please comply with station protocols.
We're all in the same star system.
Yeah, looks like I'm on the planet. Don't come near me. I'm like 100 light seconds away from you. 100,000.
Okay. Well, we've got our nav locks turned on, so you should be able to drop out of hyperspace right on top of us. Or out of jump spaces, sorry. Scanning detected. Hill Hub. Request dock.
Access granted. Prep for arrival on landing pad 40.
I just passed the Anaconda. It's an NPC.
still throwing a lot more money before you even get close to that level. Shift. This is so hard. Shift +1. I'm going to use that. Okay, send. Right.
I just love these pinwheel space stations. I really do. I don't know why the hell they keep trying to make Mars rockets that don't spin, where you have to experience 6 months of weightlessness and then reacclimate to the planet when you land on it. It makes more sense to me to have a pinwheel spaceship than it does to stick everyone like sardines into a rocket. But I'm not the rocket engineer, sadly. Of course, my version of the Mars Colonial Transport would be probably billions of dollars more expensive. Okay, starport services. I'm at Hill Hub this time.
Clear to offload.
Yeah, that's a good place. They sell 4,500 credits for basic medicine. Damn, I'm trying to get this to use.
It's the whole system's experiencing the outbreak, so it doesn't really matter which base you go to.
Yeah.
Medicines, basic. Transport, sell. 2.263500 million. Almost. Incoming message from Station Authority. Perez Ring Brewery reputation change. Considered an ally of Perez Ring. So through trade, I've been able to gain alliance here.
Shit. I just launched a limpet drone for no reason. I'm trying to set up a fucking script, and it's like a pain in the ass because I don't really use auto hotkey that much. Okay, 1 second. Edit script. I'm going to send it to a control function. Control. I don't know what's a good one. Control 1. There you go. No, wait.
Senior Executive Brian Harutianan.
In order to keep bay traffic flowing smoothly, please follow standard operating procedures and request documents.
Remote workshop, yeah. Just hang on a second here. I want to check something. I wish to find out where you may obtain go to a station that has a 6A FSD.
So I pressed it and it worked. It typed exactly what I wanted to do.
Good.
It did exactly the function I needed to do to execute this function.
Good.
But it didn't work in game.
Not good.
In game, it just puts me in reverse. It puts me at 10% reverse.
Okay.
And let me see. If I press this by itself. Yeah, it's pressing. Huh, very weird.
So we're in STF 1774 at Hill Hub. Confirmed. Find stations, powers, has facilities, allegiance. Outfitting.
When you're trying to write your script and you're putting, do you have the pause timers in between the different button presses?
Yeah, there are. What type of pause timer do you usually use?
I would say just make that pause in between it bigger. That's what I had to do with the voice command that I'm using in order to get it to function right. Otherwise,
like
I try to hit about 4 buttons so in such a short amount of time that it just screws things up and does things it's not supposed to be doing.
Okay. I'll set the pause timer something ridiculous.
Well, I think mine, I've got it at like 0.1 seconds.
I put it at 0.5.
6A frame. It says it's for sale here, but it's not. They're lying. Entering hangar.
Okay, so what station do we buy or what system do we buy the...
Okay, you buy the aluminum here. Any station's fine, as long as it sells aluminum. Buy the aluminum here, take it to LHS 331, Lima Hotel Sierra.
So LH331, you sell your aluminum, then you're just buying the basic medicine.
Right, correct. Make sense?
Yep, I just need to know where I'm going.
Very good. I'm crossing the 40 million mark, so now we're about equal. I'm just trying to find out if I can get a core internal system update, power plant 6A, but I don't find 6A, I find 6B, despite what it says on the Elite Dangerous database. Am I doing something wrong? It doesn't seem likely. Oh, that's a power plant. Hang on. 6 browse shop. Go to 6A. Frame shift drive. 16 million credits. Okay, here we are. Well, if I get the 6A frame shift drive, my top and boost speed go up quite a bit. But I lose 4 light years distance because I haven't engineered it. Okay, so at this time I'm gonna try to update the frame shift drive by spending 16 million credits.
Bless you.
Bless you. Okay, we now have the 6A drive that we need. Computer.
And I have no idea.
Go back. Begin remote workshop outfitting. Specializations. FSD. 6A. Select.
Okay, so the LHS 331 is like 19 light years from me. Or from here. If I'm loaded down with cargo, I gotta make 2 jumps, I think.
Atypical disrupted wake echoes. Chemical processors 1 of 34. Generate modification. Proceed. Generate modification. Complete. Level 3. Phosphorus, chemical processors, and strange wake solutions. Affirmative. Generate modification. Generate. 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 Complete. Level 4. Manganese chemical distillery and eccentric hyperspace trajectory. this is not going to be completed. Complete. Level 5. Arsenic, chemical manipulators, and data mined wake exceptions, which I'm missing. Stand by. Computer, show me the new range calculations for the outfitting. 28.63 light years is now available on command. I just jumped another 3.7 light years in maximum jump distance. Fully loaded, I can now make a jump of 19 light years.
I'm at 17.9 max if I'm loaded.
Well, this upgrade, I haven't even done the experimental upgrade yet, and it's already showing like pretty substantial gain. And I still have a spare 6B hyperdrive sitting in the storage locker, fully outfitted and with extra engineering specs. So I can sell that for probably 30 million if I want to. Go to stored modules, frame shift drive value, 5.3 million credits with increased FSD range to level 5. It's too bad you can't trade these items with other players.
You'd get a lot of people.
It would be cheating.
All that kind of stuff. It creates a fucked up market.
Yeah. Because then it's about who you know and not what you're how well you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see them. But I mean, if we're all in the same system and we all know each other, then why shouldn't we be allowed to trade? But anyway. Because you're not always going to come crisscrossing the galaxy together with like a bunch of people. But I guess there's just some people are better. People have better people skills than others, and they'll make more friends.
Basically, I'd be able to fully outfit Anaconda, and then I could give it to you for like 1 credit.
Yeah.
Because it overpowers the game, so that certain people are getting high-level stuff that they shouldn't normally be.
Well, but I had an offer like that from Commander. I can't remember which commander it was. Iron Jaguar and 8 Dogs. One of the two of them. Oh no, maybe it was Nanhat. Nanhat, that's who it was. He assists Commander Platter in his videos online. So he offered at one point to get me an Anaconda, like just outfitted an Anaconda. And I don't know how he was intending to transfer it to me, but he explained that he would basically be dumping cargo canisters full of valuable items, and that I'd be able to sell them, get the money that way. And the same end result would occur. I'd end up with an Anaconda. But I declined because it was cheating, and I didn't really want to play the game that way.
No, not sure if it'd be considered cheating, but it'd be a pain in the ass. Take forever to get 200 million credits that way.
He's a wealthy guy, Nanhat. Like
It doesn't matter. It's still time consuming to transfer
cargo.
like that.
Yeah, well, he would have taken his Corvette out, and then he would have. Are you coming back, or are you leaving?
I'm gonna jump to a system, see if I can buy shit here that I want.
Okay.
I don't feel like making 2 jumps back and forth.
Well, with this new freighter that I have, this new FSD jumping me 30 light years, I mean, I don't think I'll have the heating problem anymore.
Yeah, I can't jump that far. 22 is max if I'm empty.
I can't believe I just hit 30 light years. That's insane. That's just insanity. But if I go to the map right now, like, this is crazy. How the hell does a Type 9 freighter get 30 light years?
McDonald settlement. Oh, hell no.
I've never even heard of a Type 9 freighter jumping that far before. But I guess it must be possible because I'm doing it. I don't have to go use them between systems anymore. I can now jump directly between 331 and 1774.
Yeah, I don't have the materials to upgrade my FSD, max it out yet, so...
Oh, there's Alcor.
What about Elcor?
That's where you go get the permits, according to our friend from Mexico here.
To go where?
To the Alioth system where the Alliance has its capital. You need a permit. Like, you need a permit for the Imperium, for the Empire as well. I don't have an Imperial permit yet. But I figured if I'm in the neighborhood, I may as well, like, at least consider getting the Alliance permit. So that's why I asked him for that information.
What is the home base for the Empire?
Achenar system. It has a world, Earth-like world with nearly 2 Gs on the surface. So people from the Empire are a lot stronger than people from Earth.
I've got Achenar system permits.
How the hell did you do that?
Because I'm high ranked in the Empire.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you have better rank than I do.
I have Sol system, Beta Hydri, Summerlin system, Achenar system, PLX 695, X-Bur,
Yeah.
Ross 128, and Vega.
Yeah, I got Ross 128's a prison, so that's a detention area. So I have the Sol permit, the Beta Hydri permit, the PLX 695 system permit, Ross 128, Sirius system permit, and the Vega system permit. Of the permits you listed, the only one I think I have you don't is the Sirius permit.
Yep. That's probably because you're slightly higher federal rank than me, I think.
No, it's got to do with exploration.
Oh, okay.
So, and getting access to Marco Quent, which you don't have, and I do.
No.
But then you have the Achenar permit, and I don't have that one, so... Hardin, what permits do you have?
I only have the one.
Just for the Alioth system, which none of us have. So we all have different permits.
Yeah, no, it's just a grind. I'm still trying to outfit. I need to get ships. One ship that's reliable, like a small purpose, and then I need to get a freight ship, and then I need to get an exploration ship. That way, I'm not like wasting size on all kinds of stuff. Because I want a good exploration ship.
What's this?
That's my only ship.
That's your only ship. Keep that ship. It's well worth having.
Yeah, but what do you outfit it as? What's your main function for it?
I use that if I'm gonna take tourists out on their little expeditions and shit. I use it for that all the time. I use it for just for exploring, running between bases, because mine's got like 40. I think right now I got a 42 light year jump range with that ship.
Yeah, but you should be able to use the Diamondback Explorer and get more out of it, no?
Yeah, you could. He could theoretically.
Diamondback doesn't have enough cargo room though.
It does for if you swap out the main cargo bay and put passengers only in, then yes, it does. You can't.
As Explorer, you don't have to.
No, you don't. But
you
then
get more carrying capacity for either passengers or cargo. It don't either one.
Right, but if you're going to be going on those long missions where you want to cycle passengers, so you're going to get attacked, and if you haven't got good shields, then your passengers will often have that restriction where they get worried if they're attacked, if the hull takes damage.
My Asp Explorer, I can take most ships of its equivalent size and abilities. I can usually defeat them.
Okay.
I've got a good shield on there.
Okay. Well, I don't know why, but my Asp Explorer only goes the 30 light years. It won't go above 30, no matter how hard I try to make it. So I'm doing something wrong that you're doing right with the Asp Explorer. I haven't quite figured out what that is yet. My Asp Explorer is in the XC phase system, out toward the Guardian discovered planets. The Guardian systems. So it's on the edge of bubble space. And I'm not out there very often, so I haven't had a chance to look at it lately. But actually, you know what? I can look at it right now. Because I'm in the starport and I can look at the shipyard. Okay. I have, sorry, my FSD range unladen is 25.91, so 26 light years right now. I have 240 shields, 735 armor, hull mass 280 tons. I have 32 cargo slots available. It is armed with the following: a 1E fragment cannon, 1 F cannon, 1 F cannon, 1 B seeker missile rack, 2 D fragment cannon, and 2 E beam laser. It carries twin shield booster defenses and a point defense weapon system. An I-class heat sink launcher. Optional internals include fuel scoop 6B, cargo rack 5E, planetary vehicle handler 2G, 3A shield generator, detailed surface scanner 1C, advanced discovery scanner, and a planetary approach suite. Core internals include military-grade composite armor at 1A, 5B power plant, 5B thrusters, 5A frameshift drive, 4C life support, 4A power distributor, 5D sensors, 5C fuel tank capacity 32 tons, 1E standard docking computer. The livery is chromed. Explorer Pioneer Trade Entrepreneur ×2, Explorer 1 White ×2, Classic 1 White ×2, Weapon color cyan, engine color orange, and Covis Verity. I'm going to change that one to Covis Victor.
And this is a ship you're talking about now, or what?
That was the Asp Explorer, which again, only goes 26 light years. Yours goes closer to 50.
Yeah, I think 42 right now.
Yeah, so I don't know which systems are at fault for hamstringing me to 40. I mean, I've only got the one major cargo compartment, and I can swap out, any of those other subsystems in for passengers, and I still only get 26, no matter what I do. I guess I could size down the cargo a bit and put, I don't know. I'll have to look at it again. Or maybe it just needs to be re-engineered with the new engineering system. Because I still think that one's running the old engineering specs. Okay, I just want to see right now, where is our nearest engineer? The word system is close. So is Laxac. Coon. Wolf 397. And Deciat. Where is Deciat? Word Laxac.
Should be out mining.
Well, there's lots of worlds around here to mine as well, if you would like to do that.
Well, all my mining gear is back in.
Why don't we bring some of that stuff... Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long this outbreak is going to last. The demand is still heavy. It's in the millions. So there's still a lot of cases of medicine needed. I don't think...
I was trading medicine last night in Tangaroa. I log on this morning, and they're no longer in an outbreak, so...
Well, what happened, though? Did demand decline, or you said that...
I don't know, because they still wanted 1.29 million units of basic medicines when I went to bed last night, so...
That's fucked up. That really is fucked up, though.
Hey, okay, so I'm using this, like, script thing, and it works for key presses.
Okay.
It does not work in the menus. That's what's the problem.
Okay.
It's because you gotta rebind your menus to use regular keys on the keyboard.
They are. My menus, for example, if I press 1, it brings up 1, 2, 3, 4 are at default. Press Q and E, it moves between the submenus. Press WASD, it moves between the individuals. But when I run a macro, it won't affect it. But if I'm not in a menu, it does work. Like, it'll change my throttle, for example.
I wish I could help, but you're actually talking about options I don't ever see because I don't even use a keyboard. I can't. It doesn't work with the VR. But I do remember that this was possible somehow. That's all I can tell you.
I know it is possible. People do it, but...
Yeah.
Well, I could do it using the voice attack software I got on my computer, but I don't use it because I got the voice. I could just say something and it'll do it.
Yeah.
And I can have it, like when I tell it to request to dock, it pulls up the menu on the left, flips over to the contacts, opens up the Starbase and jumps down to request dock and enters that, and then it closes the whole screen so that I'm looking back at the station again.
So wait a second, it actually accesses the menu when you use your voice? If it's doing that...
Yeah, I can't bypass it. You have to access it.
Huh.
Request to dock.
So now you see, Harden, why I might be interested in the voice attack system, because it'll give me more options with my VR headset.
Mm-hmm.
But whether or not
all I've got right now is just the...
Yeah, you have the 3 monitors.
It only allows me to have 20 commands that I can program.
Yeah. Harden, how many monitors do you use?
I just use one. I have a giant. I have 70 inches of HD.
Holy crap. So you're sitting in front of a giant screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably sitting in your recliner across the room playing, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like not even close to my screen.
So it's like
everything wireless and shit, but...
So it's like VR anyway, because your whole house is basically one big spaceship.
No, it's really nice. It's totally immersive. My screen is enormous.
Yeah, it sounds like 70 inches, Jesus. That's what I need next, is to find a way to get a 70-inch screen, plasma screen, into my apartment. I don't think it'll fit through the door, to be honest with you.
I've got a 50-inch TV, and my wife has that so she can watch movies and shows and stuff, so I don't get to hook my computer up to that too often.
Like, I have room in the living room for a screen that big, but it's just getting it in the door, which would be the major hurdle. Like the hallway outside my apartment.
My 3 monitors. Or my 4 monitors that I have hooked up.
Yeah. And my apartment is fairly large in a big Canadian city, so I've got it pretty good, but in terms of like bringing a 70-inch screen down that little hallway in here, I don't know. I might have to actually take out one of my windows, my front windows in my apartment, and have a crane or something, like lift something like that in here. And then I'd be able to, because I'm on the 2nd floor of this building.
Oh, it's not hard. You could probably get a stepladder and some friends.
Probably.
70-inch plasma wouldn't weigh that much. You just like lift it up.
Yeah.
You could actually probably just put a string underneath the box flap and it wouldn't tear it.
Yeah, as long as it's designed to contain the monitor, which of course it is.
Yeah.
But I'd still have to wheel it up here on a pulley system or something and bring it in the front window. That would be the easiest thing to do. Anyway, I'll worry about that this summer if I'm going to do something like that crazy. Have my home theater become my home theater. Of course, right now I watch movies in VR as well. Why? Because I can. My entire field of vision is filled with a giant movie screen from using a VR headset to watch movies. So it's exactly the same effect. Maybe a little bit harder on the eyes, because it's shining lights right into your pupils. Anyway,
Yeah, I should get VR, but I mean, I don't know.
it's worth it, I'm telling you.
I'm waiting for the technology to mature a little bit more, and then I'll probably end up going somewhere like that.
Well, I think Facebook has screwed up enough. They're not going to screw this up anymore. So
You think who did?
Facebook, well, they did screw up Oculus Rift earlier this year when they failed to do that security certificate update.
Yep.
But and everyone's headset went offline for like a day while they fixed it. But then they had the whole scandal in the U.S. break over this analytics scandal that is causing what's his name to appear before Congress next week. And I think that's going to be it. They're just going to behave themselves and play things a little bit more conservatively. Like, Facebook actually runs in VR now as well. They have a specific app that they're working on to try to bring that experience into the VR realm.
I don't need to scroll through Facebook with VR. I don't even like Facebook to start with.
Actually, there's fewer ads in the beta edition of their VR product than there are on the web. But it's basically for like doing face-to-face meetings and things of this nature using their made-up avatars. So if you imagine like the avatars we use in this game actually talking, walking around and doing things, that's sort of like what Facebook beta VR is about.
I'd rather just go walk to the bar and I can walk around and talk to people in real life.
Oh, I know. It's it's the old question about how people are staying at home and they're not seeing each other, not being as social anymore because of the internet. But beyond that, there is an element in the population that wants to remain blissfully anonymous and be able to use their avatars to coexist inside of VR space and not go out.
If I come to the bar, I'm still pretty anonymous because most people don't know who I am in the bar.
Yeah, but then they see you.
That don't matter.
I'm
lucky enough that I'm not very memorable. Most people can see me and don't remember me 2 days later.
That's true, but Some people are even paranoid about that. I mean, I'm not very agoraphobic myself. I don't care. I would prefer to socialize, but I'm a little bit older than... I think I'm a little bit older than both of you. So I'm a little bit more old-fashioned that way.
Yeah, you're about a decade older than me, I know that.
Yeah, I don't look it, though, I'm told. And a lot of my friends are still in their 30s. In fact,
I'm a 60-year-old old-timer because I got a big old bunch of facial fur. And I'm bald, so...
Whereas I'm actually approaching 50, but I look like I'm 35. Then again, I do shave all the time, so I do look younger. Okay, so we're good there. Launching.
Planetary landing's a pain in the ass to get the trajectory right to approach a station or ground base.
Well, you can always have a docking computer do it for you if you want, but...
What, planetary landing?
Yep.
Within 7,500 meters to engage dock.
I'm just lazy.
Oh my god. So now I'm 150 kilometers out from this stupid thing. Oh, jeez. See, that's what I'm saying. You end up like, you drop your orbital glide too far out.
Oh no.
It's hard to keep your approach vector again. Because if you come in too steep, it blows over it. If you come in too shallow, you pass it. So now I'm gonna have to wait like 5 minutes to get to.
What I always do is I basically get so I'm straight above the base or whatever, and then I just point straight down at it, and I just come in completely vertical of the base. And when I drop down through, it doesn't even do the coasting part because I'm going way too fast.
How close does that get you to it, though? I mean, by the time you come...
Usually about 15 kilometers, and then it takes about 30 seconds to get within docking range where I can engage the docking computer.
I like to come in at a shallow angle, actually, and planet gravity wells.
Well, I try to do it, but if you have to, like, fly over the planet if it's on the other side, it's really hard to make your adjustments to come in on it.
Well,
you're trying not to go into atmosphere, and you're trying to get enough speed to go over the planet. Like, right now, I just dropped from orbital cruise, and glide failed too shallow. What the fuck? Too shallow?
Yeah, you came into the planet's atmosphere.
Yeah, I hate the whole gliding function, so I just come in at a steep angle so that it skips the whole gliding thing.
Well, this is part of what will be fixed. This is what will be fixed later this year with the atmosphere update. Because you won't just like come into a planet's atmosphere and just stop dead. You'll actually be able to continue if you want flying through the planet's atmosphere, either going closer to the ground or not.
Well, I'd imagine when you actually try to land on a planet with an atmosphere, your speed and all that has a lot to affect.
Oh yes, and you'll start taking heat damage faster and whatnot depending on your angle of attack, and it's going to be a little bit more complicated, I suspect. Especially if there's a lightning storm on or something in the system that you're trying to land in.
Thank God, I got this. Finally.
Crowley Hub. Lock destination and engage. Crowley Hub. Moving toward Crowley Hub. Oh crap, we forgot to get the aluminum. Oh well. It's not that important. Cobra Mark III, Azario Tetherin.
Request to dock.
Oy, oy. Ah yes, the ocean world of LHS 331 Alpha 8. Planet 8 is completely comprised of water surface, no landmass. And really big fish. They even have northern pike. Slowing.
Good, I'm getting a lot of these stations out of the way. Hey, build up on me.
Okay, I'm not overheating my engine anymore.
What'd you do?
I am not overheating my engine anymore, so that engine. I upgraded from 6D to 6A and then engineered the engine. It now jumps 30 light years and doesn't generate any more heat. My maximum speed is also increased by 40 points up to 260 from 220. And I'm finding control of the freighter using the thruster assembly I have far easier. Though I still want a thruster upgrade. Which will still cost quite a bit. And I have the option of selling 6B, the 6B frameshift drive. Okay. Crowley Hub. Request dock.
Access granted. Proceed to landing pad 17. Automatic docking system engaged.
Auto docking. I have a fine at this system.
Scan detected.
Scanning has been detected. Warning.
Yeah, those are the biggest pains in the ass.
I may be declined access. Nope, they're letting me through. Despite my fine. For a better life, join the Alliance.
It becomes lethal, no?
I don't know. I don't think so. Not a fine. Only if you don't pay your bounties off.
Landing gear deployed.
And they're changing the justice system all the time, don't forget, so nothing is... It's kind of fluid right now. You don't really know what the hell's going on. Okay, starport services, please.
Touchdown successful. Clear for system shutdown.
Going to contacts. Paying all fines combined. 200 credits. Confirm. Redeem all trade dividends. I've been receiving trade dividends from you. From what are...
Really?
Yeah, so you might want to check with your point of contact at your next starport docking and see if I haven't returned any trade dividends to you as well.
No, I got 100,000 from you the other day.
Did you?
Yep.
You should say thank you. I'm kidding, of course, but it doesn't.
Let me go to my navigation, galaxy map.
Just say up your dividend.
Okay, yeah, good. There's another one in this zone. God.
Okay, redeem all trade dividends at 29.70. Confirm. Intel packages for the Alliance, 43,031 credits. Confirming. Ooh, this is a rather nice haul. Commodities. Switch to medicines. Basic medicines.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Whoa, what is ceremonial comms?
Ceremonial comms? Isn't that like when there's a wedding or something going on in the system and they're announcing it over subspace radio?
We're at 1. I'm going to check it out.
Good luck.
Sidewinders, yeah, that's nothing spectacular.
Yeah, threat 1 is usually quite manageable. I'm sure you can handle it.
This facility operates under regulations forbidding the use of aggression in or around the starport. Starport thanks pilots.
Ooh, wanted.
You're wanted, or they're wanted?
They're wanted.
Oh. Did you get that utility mount for the interdictor?
No, I mean, the ship needs to wear it, so.
Well, you need an interdictor
I'm
to...
not gonna waste time interdicting people.
Okay.
I mean, that's just, yeah, it's interesting.
Landing gear retracted.
Half been pulled.
I don't have an interdictor on this freighter because it's pointless to interdict people on a freighter, but... Okay. We'll switch to galaxy map. Arzano, Keith, and... let's go over here again. Lock. Exit. Prepare to jump. Jump the ship in 5 seconds. What?
Clear of the station. Safe travels, Commander.
Oh, I'm carrying cargo, that's why. Never mind.
Frameshift drive charging.
Won't go as far.
Gosh, goodness, they move so much faster than I do. Like, I do everything from, like, brake, I hard brake, I still can't hit him. Jesus.
Yeah.
I can't turn fast enough, even if I go to 0, I don't use...
Well, you don't go to 0, you go to near 0. Like, just above 0, and you'll find your turning arc is faster than if you're at 0.
Really?
Yeah.
Hard is what you're using. You're just playing with keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
Either use a PlayStation or Xbox style controller or buy a HOTAS setup. HOTAS makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, you really got to. At some point. Doesn't help you right now, but eventually.
Frameshift drive charging.
I use the Xbox One.
As a slider, it slides back and forth. I can control it to really small increments.
Some people like the dual joystick, which is what you get with the Xbox or PS1 controllers, but some of the HOTAS setups also offer 2 joysticks, a small one and a large one.
Well, mine, I guess my throttle control, I've got a smaller joystick.
Yeah.
Linear, or my lateral and linear what is, yeah, linear would be up and down. Or whatever. Anyway, my up, down, left, right is all hooked to that toggle. So I can actually use that to toggle left, right, up, down, whatever. Or use my thrusters in those directions.
He'll hug.
Control the yaw, pitch, and roll.
Like right now, I just slowed down to 50% throttle. My turning arc is like moved up very noticeably. Now I'm resuming full throttle.
How do you untarget something? Like, I've never been able to untarget anything, like, without clicking away from it.
I don't know, I just hit target again.
Yeah, no, but if there's something else in front of you, it'll target that.
Yes, that's true.
Which is a pain in the ass when you're trying to use limpets to use non-targeted collection.
Oh, I
Collect
just,
everything.
in my case, I just look in a different direction where there are no targets, and...
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too. It just seems like a little bit on it, not as efficient.
Well, it won't be because I'm wearing a helmet and you're not. The VR helmet is seamless, so it's... I can just point my head in any direction and... I'm looking that way. Instantaneously.
Request to dock.
And now, a solar eclipse. The cosmic dance continues. I don't think English is the best language for poetry. I was just quoting Leonard Nimoy. A segment of poetry he said during a Simpsons episode. A solar eclipse, the cosmic dance continues. It just sounds, to my ear, kind of dumb. I've never really liked poetry because I've studied poetry in English. I'm not a fan. There's something about listening to poetry in French or hearing... There's subtleties in French literature that don't seem to exist in English.
Hey, I'm 7% with the Alliance now. I was 3%.
Closing on the ring. We are passing very near the ring border. And we have passed the ring border. Okay. Hill Hub request docking.
Permission authorized. Just heading for approach to pad 10.
Resetting engines. Autodock.
Approach authorized. All clear, Commander.
Autodock engaged. So tell me honestly, how would you like to live in one of these ring pinwheel stations inside the ring? I think it would be awesome.
I think it'd get boring after a while.
What's
To it and just be...
spinning around all the time?
Well, you wouldn't feel it.
No, you have 1G.
In an eternal merry-go-round.
Yep. But you'd get to have a house. You could have a house in there. It would never rain unless, of course, the sprinkler system was turned on.
Landing gear deployed.
And it could be both sunny and raining at the same time, because it's a sprinkler system, not a cloud. Of course, having sunrise and sunset experienced 60 times a day would also present certain challenges to circadian rhythms. But I just think it looks neat. I'd be willing to try it for a while. I bet you'd be better than living on Mars. Live on Mars, it's like Antarctica without oxygen.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice the climate if you lived on Mars.
Not for several hundred years until terraforming finally started to yield some results.
And that would never happen anyway. It'd be so hard to terraform a planet. Like, look at what we've been doing to heat up our planet for 200 years. More than that. That's 350 years now. Since the beginning of modern.
Yeah, but Mars did have a warmer climate 3 billion years ago. What happened was the planet's too small to hang on to its own atmosphere, so you'd have to constantly replenish the oxygen in the atmosphere in a way that Mars was not able to early in its history. But in theory, it is possible to give Mars an atmosphere, I believe.
That's the key in theory, but in actuality, that's not going to happen.
Not for hundreds of... It would take hundreds of years.
Who's got all the feedback in their mic?
I don't think that's his mic. No, it's not his mic. I think it's his network.
Something was buzzing away.
Yeah.
What? No, I just walked into another room. I'm using Bluetooth.
Oh, well, that explains it, of course. It's Bluetooth. There's nothing to do with network bandwidth or your mic. It's just Bluetooth anomalies. The outbreak is still on. And another 4 million credits earned. Yay! Okay, so now we're back above 20 million, 22 million, 24 million. There we go. Would anyone like to have a beryllium sphere? No? Alright then.
Why are they torturing us, dude?
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
What? Did you want a beryllium sphere? Or did I hear you say poultry? I'm not hearing anything. Apparently I'm being too silly.
I muted my mic because I'm eating chips, and it's really annoying to listen to people eat chips on a closed microphone.
I see. It's up to you. I do not mind. It tells me someone's still alive at the other end. Otherwise I'll start to think you've died. Hey? I don't think he's talking to me, or us.
I don't think I even want to know.
What's going on?
Shit, I gotta do this assassination guy. I don't know when it's going to expire, but it's going to expire soon, I'm guessing.
Well, shoot him then. I don't take those because the Empire once had me try to kill some civilian who was completely innocent, and I didn't like doing that, so I just abandoned the mission. I don't take those missions anymore because they don't tell you up front.
You should take the missions with.
If they have a name. Yeah, well, maybe. Except there's, like, I don't know, it's the military council that dominates the parliamentary assembly, so I'm still kind of suspicious, but in theory, I think the alliance is a great idea. I'm very sympathetic to the alliance, even though I'm part of the Federal Navy. Of course, many elements in the alliance were also part of the Federal Navy at one point.
Yeah, the outlaw slaves and shit.
Yeah.
It's the best faction.
Well, the Imperial slaves, keep in mind, they're not really slaves. They're unindentured. They're uncompensated workers. Yeah, indentured servitude. They don't. They're sort of like a social safety net. If you have debts that you can't repay.
Doesn't matter. That's slavery.
What's that?
That's
Yeah.
serfdom. That's forced labor.
It's not forced. You don't have to.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah, then the only other choice is to die.
No, you'll be imprisoned.
Yeah, they can't take other work or anything like that. Yeah, that's slavery. Fuck them. Fuck the Empire.
Well, so if you work in the Federation, if you're unindentured, they call you a servant. It's the only difference. Like, you still have to have a way to pay the bills, so to speak, right? And it's not like the Empire is set up to put you in debt. No one asks you to, like, go into debt. You borrow the money, you have to pay it back. That's all. But I don't take slavery missions regardless, as a general rule.
Anything to do with slavery in this game is generally a pain in the ass, so you just avoid it.
Well, I won't even touch ordinary slaves. Like, if they're Imperial slaves, I might consider it, but with slavery overall, no, I won't accept slaves. And I've never had a problem with the game that way. I just won't deal with them. Sometimes I'll be on a passenger mission, and someone will come and message me in the messaging system saying, "Oh, do you want to sell your passengers into slavery?" And they offer an amount of money, and of course I decline. As if I'm going to sell my passengers into slavery.
Yeah, see, this planetary base produces enough basic medicine to make it worth running back and forth.
Okay, hang on, what have I got here? Oh, I have an aluminum shipment I have to run here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Exit, and I want the map. Map? Map. '78 Ursa Majoris. Sheila Nagig. Sheila Nagig. 78 Ursa Majoris Alliance, 10.4 billion. F white star. There's lots of F stars in this part of the galaxy. Holy crap. So Hardin, are you like, do you like astronomy or as a subject?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Astronomy is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, stellar phenomenon have, ever since I started playing this game, I was always interested in astronomy, but I'm more interested now than I was even before in stellar phenomena. Because this game requires you to have knowledge of stars.
Super Cruise.
The silicate magma volcanism with no atmosphere, 33.4% metal, cadmium, ruthenium, tungsten, germanium, vanadium, phosphorus. Yes, that's interesting. What about this one? Oh, this is a really good system for minerals. Ooh, arsenic at 2.1% on 78 Ursa Majoris Alpha 2.
Oh, interesting. Because of the donation I gave them, they found the identity of a pirate.
Traitor. Who's the traitor? Evil pirates. 32.5.
I have to get on those too, but I don't have an interdiction module, so I don't know how much of that's dependent on interdiction.
They're not expensive, and they go in your utility section. What in God's name do you need antimony for? I swear to God, I've never bought anything that uses antimony. Ursa Majoris Beta 3, outdoor world, human breathable atmosphere, indigenous life, atmosphere, carbon chemical equilibrium. As a result, the world has been terraformed. 1.26 atmospheres, 16% oxygen. It's an oxygen-rich environment, 83.5% nitrogen, and 0.4% carbon dioxides. This is a really attractive planet. Orbital period, 632.5 days. It's 2 Earth years per year on that world. And it's 60%, sorry, gravity is at 1.5 G, 50% heavier than gravity on Earth. Well, objects will weigh 50% more than they do on Earth. So I would probably die of a heart attack right now if I was there. All right. Starport services. I wonder if how is the Alliance position? What's the Alliance position on narcotics?
Illegal.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh well. There are some places in the galaxy narcotics are allowed.
Usually independent systems that have anarchy.
Well, no, I found governments. There's communist societies and democracies that have allowed some narcotics, but the There's not many of them, you're right. Just a news item on CNN today. Apparently, the Dutch, the Netherlands, they're shutting down prisons in part because they've legalized several types of narcotics. So they don't have people going to jail as often anymore. And they're shutting down prisons as a result. Six closures nationally in the last year on high security prisons. So saith CNN. Of course, within the United States, you have Colorado, where much the same experience is no doubt being had at the moment.
This facility operates under
Local gravitational conditions while approaching the
Trains
base.
disengaged. Allow for
What
oncoming
is that?
traffic in the access corridor.
Hey?
That's what the base told me when I dropped in out of orbital cruise.
What's that?
Watch out for gravitational
Anomalies?
anomalies, basically. Well, that's not a good sign.
No, it means your planet will probably blow up.
Landing gear retracted.
Ah! Someone's flying through the space door, so I'm trying to leave again. I almost crashed. Where are we? We're in Orbis at Hill Hub. Yes, Galaxy Map, STF 1774.
Request to dock.
Proceed to El Lima, Hotel Sierra 331. You know where I did find narcotics that was really strange once? At a Thargoid crash site. Why would the Thargoids be possessing narcotics?
Maybe they're a bunch of potheads.
I don't know. Maybe they just like their cocaine. Might explain their aggressive demeanor. They think they're king of the universe.
Oh, they kind of are. They took out the Guardian.
Yeah, you think you're king of the universe if you do too much coke.
Allied Police Forces, thank you for your cooperation, Commander. Well, of course.
No, this was in a canister near a site where you had to recover Thargoid components for Marco Quent, one of his missions.
Frameshift drive charging.
And yeah, so I found it really funny that I kept going back to that same spot, and then the little canister 1 ton of cocaine would respawn every single time. Hey, there's a human in the system. Warning. En route to LHS 331, I've encountered another human player. It is an ASP explorer, Commander Crazy Savant. I will salute him. Salutation sent.
So what was the first Elite one like? Elite 1. What was that like?
Wireframe graphics. Planets were... you can probably find an emulator to run Elite 1 online, like in a web browser. The galaxies were consisted of 256 stars. There were 8 galaxies each. They map today to probably sectors of space or quadrants or whatever. Sectors, I guess. And you could visit the stars and trade, and you could engage in combat. Very simple, but again, it's remarkable because it gave you different planets with different governing structures and many of the same archetypes that we find present in this game inside of a wireframe graphics game that rendered a 3D image for the very first time on the Commodore 64 and Apple IIe platforms.
Well, you remember the game Echelon?
The which?
Echelon.
Enchelot?
Echelon. Echelon.
Nope, never played it.
Oh, it's an extremely early wireframe space simulator.
There were a number of them. I played some on the Tandy Radio Shack systems back in the late 70s, early 80s as well. I can't remember the names of all of them, but this one was just noteworthy for its wireframe 3D rendering, and it did so it handled data very efficiently. Then you eventually arrive at Elite 2 in 1995. Like I said before, 25th anniversary is this weekend, according to Obsidian Ant. And if you watch Obsidian Ant's video, which I've got linked from my Twitter site, it will show you the types of graphics that you would have experienced if you'd played Elite 2 Frontier. And he also talks about how the in-atmosphere features included starports on the planets, surfaces near the cities like New York or Los Angeles that would shoot the hell out of you if you took off without first requesting clearance. It was brutally hard. I did play it for a while on the Amiga 500 and on the PC 386, I think memory serves. And then Civilization or some other game came out that took my interest away for a while. It was also during this time frame I was learning about the internet. Between 93 and 95 was my introduction to the internet for the first time. All done through the university I went to school at.
In 1993?
Yep.
The hell were you? 1993, you would have been using like Gopher and shit.
Yep. And NTP and email. And I was using Unix Bash terminal on SunSpark Solaris workstations and on DTX80 workstations connecting remotely to SunSpark.
We have so many Spark stations at my school, it's ridiculous. They're all over the fucking place.
Yeah, well, the Cisco 2501 router, the SunSpark station, they were sort of the mainstay equipment that you could run an ISP, a small ISP off of early in the day. And now, of course, it's all completely different. Sun doesn't even exist anymore. And bought out by IBM and Oracle and the Pentaverate, the alliance of non-Microsoft hardware technologies, whose answer to distributed computing at one point was Corba. And you probably haven't heard of it.
Frameshift drive charging.
Because Corba...
Got another mission. Liberate one precious gem. Correct industrial firmware. I should do that, no?
Crack industrial firmware. Yeah, probably. Sounds okay.
Hostile ship. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Whoa! Came out of hyperspace a little too close to the sun. That was not nice.
Ooh, sentinels. Clean up sentinels.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah, because you can do that with missiles from long range.
Also, there's Guardian class Sentinels, not like Guardian technology, but just Guardian type Sentinels. And they're a barrel of laughs. They'll give you actual quite a bit of extra points if you find a Guardian human Sentinel. Best thing to do is to park your ship close enough to the base so that you can use your point defense weapon. It'll shoot at the Guardian Sentinels and you'll still get full credit for them.
I just use missiles, dumbfire missiles from out of their target range.
You use your ship's missile launcher to launch missiles at Sentinels?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It works incredibly well.
I have used flat cannons to do much the same thing because they have extremely long range. They'll shoot targets 4.5 kilometers off, which is outside the range of the Sentinels. They don't even know what the hell's going on. Just all of a sudden, boom, there's an explosion and they're dead.
Yeah, that's true. Legit. The only problem is when you have, like, all the Sentinel missions, you have to respawn the instance to get them.
Yeah.
I don't actually like. I think it's a terrible game design to have that mechanic where you have to go back, come back, go back, come back. It just makes it repetitive.
Yeah, which is why you have to sort of watch out how many from the same planet you take, from the same faction. If you want to do 2 separate Sentinel missions on the same planet, or scanner missions on the same planet, you take them from different factions, and then it'll work fine. But they're not always available from different factions, but usually they are. If there's more than one. It's faster, but I need a freighter to, like, still improve its speed somehow.
Flight assist off.
Oh, there the door is. Couldn't find the door in this Coriolis station. Sometimes I have difficulty finding a stupid door in these Coriolis stations because they're like, I don't know, 3D octagonal objects, and there's no obvious front to them.
It's usually the planet side.
Yeah, I know. I go by the planet side normally, but sometimes it still ends up being like just the side of the station or whatever.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. The Coriolis stations are a terrible design.
But they were in the original game, so I can see why they're still here for Legacy, but... There's a lot of old...
How do you use neutron stars as a boost?
That's a big and involved topic. Best thing to do is to go onto Obsidian Ant's site on YouTube and look up, do a search on neutron star. Honestly, he gives a pretty good description of what you have to do, the steps you have to go through. Or just look up any of the, the helping hints on YouTube. They'll explain the process of how you get into a neutron star stream, and then use them to navigate across longer distances outside the bubble. There are very few neutron stars inside the bubble, but outside they're sort of important to have knowledge of in order to move quickly from one part of space to another. And they can explain the process much better to you than I ever could hope to. It's like there's a bit of an art form involved in getting your ship. And by the way, different ship types use different neutron stars in different ways. So, for example, a Diamondback Explorer does not seem like, at least at the mass level I'm using it at, doesn't seem able to use the white dwarfs. But my Asp Explorer can use white dwarfs to extend its jump distance. Neutron stars and white dwarfs, while they are related, they're not exactly the same.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Go to map. Map. Watching.
Landing lock disengaged. Your way is clear to depart.
The squad, are you still there?
I think he went AFK to go talk to somebody.
Oh, alright.
Cannot comply.
Oh, yes, you can. There we go.
Retracted.
Interesting. Oh my god. Fucking, this is why I hate this map, the map system. Because it always ends up clicking off of what was highlighted.
Yeah, I don't think you'll have that same problem when you get the Xbox controller.
What do you mean?
Because when you use the Xbox controller to control Elite, you are using XY, like your one joystick does the XY, and the XZ is the other joysticks.
Temperature critical.
So you move along different axes, depending on which joystick you're manipulating at a given point, and it's far easier to navigate through the map this way than it is with a keyboard and a mouse. I mean, you should be able to pick up an Xbox controller for like $20 US, $20 or $30 US.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it's not a huge expense, and you may as well have one because you'll find it useful not just for this game but for other games forthcoming.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that. I just never got around to it.
I'm sure.
Or you just go out on a limb, you buy a HOTAS controller, you can get yourself a console controller and still use keyboard and mouse all at the same time.
That's true. But HOTAS is a bit more of an investment.
$200.
Yeah. I still swear by my Xbox controller. But it's a completely individual choice.
Well, the throttle control I've got, every finger I have runs a button or a toggle or joystick, so
Yeah.
you can pretty much play this game in any combat situation without ever taking your hands off the controls of the HOTAS controller.
Temperature critical.
Well, so far I still haven't run out of key sequences on my Xbox control either. There's a limited number of buttons, but there's quite a few more different button combinations. So
Depends on how you want to play.
it depends how you want to play, exactly. Exactly correct. Exactamo. Hill Hub. Lock destination. Here we are. Here we are. Yes, we're rushing our medicines in. 12, 11, 9, 8, 7. I still can't get over just how awesome this game is at sizing planets and zooming in the closer you get. It's not an easy thing to do in code. It keeps things appearing in perspective. no matter how far away or how close you are to an object. There's a convoy beacon in here. I've never seen that before.
How come this game doesn't have anything like fleet, like hired fleet?
Echo Tango, Romeo, India. This is an Alliance starport.
Like multiple ships would be a fun dynamic, you know.
That's kind of what a wing is, a small fleet, wouldn't it be?
Request approval.
Yeah, but I mean NPC controlled.
Pad 3-9er. Clear for precision approach. Use of docking computer has been sanctioned.
Auto dock engaged at Hill Hub. Sierra Tango Foxtrot 1774.
Scan detected. Landing gear deployed.
Welcome to Hill Hub.
Landing successful. Notifying ground crew. There are widespread reports of disease outbreak at this facility, Commander. Make sure you avoid quarantine zones.
Selling medicines for profit. $2.101 million credits. Okay, I gotta step away for a few minutes. I'm gonna remain logged in though, so I'll be right back.